The ratings are in for the Holiday Bash edition of AEW Dynamite this past week on TBS. We have an update on Kenny Omega's AEW return plans, as well as Adam Copeland's AEW return plans as well. More details on just what is going to happen when it comes to AEW streaming on Max next year. Could WWE be set to introduce yet another new championship into WWE television? We'll let you know all the details on that. Plus, Mercedes Moné hits back at a claim that her AEW run has been a downgrade. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with the ratings for this past week's edition of AEW Dynamite. Of course, it was the Holiday Bash episode of the show and it averaged 625,000 viewers on TBS. That's up over 5% from last week. It's the largest audience total for the show since November 20. Dynamite also drew a 0.19 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. That's up close to 12% from last week and is also the best rating the show has done in that category since the November 20 episode. The show went against College Football Bowl Game on ESPN and also faced competition from the season finale of Survivor on CBS. In the month of December, this is the third consecutive week that Dynamite's viewership has increased and the third straight week the 18 to 49 rating was either even or up from the previous week. However, as compared to the same week in 2023, it's not great reading as Dynamite's overall viewership was down over 20%, while its 18 to 49 rating was down close to 27%. It's the 12th straight week the show was down at least 20% in the key demographic year over year. Now, in terms of the quarter-hour ratings, these come courtesy of WrestleNomics. Shout out to them if you want to subscribe to their Patreon service. As we usually see, a strong lead-in allowed for a strong first quarter hour when it comes to total viewership with 737,000 viewers tuning in. Now, unlike the recent trend of the last 90 days, there was a situation where actually they managed to hold on to the viewers, pretty much all of them, into the second quarter. Usually we see quite a sharp dip. However, that sharp dip did come in the third quarter hour, dropping from 725,000 to 596,000. They managed to increase slightly over the next few quarter hours until in the overrun, it was one of the lower points of the show, the lowest point coming in the penultimate quarter hour, or the last one before the overrun as per usual. Now, Kenny Omega, he's on his way back to All Elite Wrestling television. We've got more details on what the plans are for the former AEW World Champion. Kenny Omega is set to return soon at long last. Omega has been sidelined for all of 2024 with diverticulitis. He returned to New Japan Pro Wrestling with a planned match against Gabe Kidd at Wrestle Dynasty on January 5th. Fightful was told this was done with Tony Khan's blessing, and AEW viewed it as a good gesture towards the relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling. While there was some internal discussion about Kenny Omega returning at Full Gear, Fightful Select has been told that was never a firm plan. However, Fightful had noted that Omega was likely to appear in All Elite Wrestling before heading back over to Japan. On December 18, this past week on Dynamite, a vignette aired promoting his upcoming return. Those within the company and near Omega have claimed that it's been discussed as happening by the December 28 World's End pay-per-view. However, Fightful have not learned in what capacity. So Omega is on his way back, and he could be back as soon as 8 days' time at the upcoming AEW pay-per-view event. Now, speaking of returns, Adam Copeland, he's on his way back to All Elite Wrestling as well. It's pretty well a foregone conclusion, but it appears to be happening. Fightful Select's Sean Ross Sapp has learned that Adam Copeland is expected back in All Elite Wrestling imminently. Copeland has been out of action for a number of months with a broken leg and was working on filming a television product during his absence from the ring. Copeland has been cleared for training a number of weeks back. However, most of the company expecting him back by the Asheville January 1st episode of AEW Dynamite. Of course, he now lives in the area. AEW was looking to make the show a big one as it's their first simulcast on TBS and the Max streaming service. We'll talk about Max more in just a bit. FTR noted they wouldn't be coming alone to the January 1st episode of Dynamite and have documented friendship with Copeland. Those that Fightful have spoken to expect him to be on the show, so the expectation is that Copeland will be back on AEW television as soon as possibly as early as the beginning of next year with that January 1st episode of Dynamite. Now, speaking of the relationship between Warner Bros. Discovery, the Max streaming service, and AEW, we've got plenty more details on just what to expect of AEW on the streaming platform. Now, in case one has been living under a rock of some kind, streaming is set to take over the wrestling world come January. Of course, this includes WWE taking Monday Night Raw to Netflix and AEW heading over to Max, where Dynamite and Collision will be simulcast beginning on January 1st. With those details out the way, the next question regarding AEW on Max would be how much of the AEW library would be made available on the service, and how soon would it be rolled out, and when AEW's pay-per-views would move to the streaming platform too. In a press release Thursday afternoon, AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery answered those questions. New episodes of Dynamite and Collision episodes will be made available on demand on Max immediately after the show airs. This will allow fans that were unable to watch AEW TV live to immediately catch up with the shows with no several-day wait required, as there has been for episodes of Raw or SmackDown during the WWE Network days. As for the over 700 hours of footage in AEW's library, the content will be slowly rolled out. While no timetable is made for when Max would feature AEW's full library, the first bit of content that will be available are all the episodes of AEW Dynamite from 2019, along with the pay-per-views from that year. In addition, more than 2 months of AEW's recent programming will also be included. It was not specified whether 2019 episodes of AEW Dark would also be made available. Now, regarding AEW's pay-per-views, it was reiterated that the pay-per-views would be moving to Max, quote, with all marketing and promotions of those pay-per-view events exclusively centered on Max. However, the release noted that AEW pay-per-view distribution would begin on Max later in 2025, suggesting there may still be a bit of a wait for those shows, those pay-per-view events to appear on the platform. It's also been suggested, of course, that they will be offered at a discounted rate, not actually as part of the whole package. Tony Khan had said previously at the All in Texas pre-sale or on-sale ticketing event that possibly AEW All in Texas would be streamed on Max, but of course, if we get any more confirmation on that in future videos, we'll of course let you know. Now, could another title be on the way to WWE? Well, possibly when it comes to a big feud. Now, if there's one minor critique of WWE's widely praised Bloodline storyline, it's that the rivalry centers around an abstract conflict. While the Ula Fala, a traditional Samoan necklace, sometimes comes into play, the title of Tribal Chief sounds as intangible as anything you can possibly think of. But now a report by WrestleVote suggests WWE is considering bringing something more concrete for the two Bloodline divisions to feud over. According to a post on X, quote, sources indicate WWE has discussed introducing a Tribal Chief Championship into the storyline between Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, similar to the People's Championship presented to The Rock at the WWE Hall of Fame earlier this year. Now, if this report is accurate, WWE may look to unveil such a championship leading up to or during the Netflix debut of Monday Night Raw on January 6, where Reigns and Sikoa are scheduled to face off. On the December 13 WWE SmackDown, Reigns challenged Sikoa to a tribal combat match to determine which of the two Samoan stars could formally call themselves the Tribal Chief. More details on the stipulation were shared on December 16's Raw, where it was described as a no disqualification, no outside interference type of contest. Now, should WWE decide to proceed with a Tribal Chief Championship, it would be far from the first story-driven bout to be introduced to wrestling. Of course, Ted DiBiase had the $1 Million Championship in the late 80s to symbolize his wealth. Taz amuse ECW audiences with the FTW Championship, and of course we've seen that in AEW too. Matt Cardona had the Internet Championship to boast his online clout back in 2011, although he didn't really defend that in WWE. But of course, this also comes at a time where more titles have been introduced to WWE recently with the introduction of the Women's United States and Intercontinental Championships. So the question is, are there too many championships on WWE TV? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. And finally, Mercedes Moné, she's hit back at claims that there's been a bit of a downgrade since she's joined AEW. Now, AEW TBS and New Japan Strong Women's Champion Mercedes Moné has fired back at a fan claiming that she has had a downgrade. The former WWE star has established herself on AEW and New Japan rosters since leaving WWE in 2022, with the former Sasha Banks currently holding gold in both promotions. The former Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion has now responded to a fan who has called her post-WWE career a downgrade. Here's what she had to say in a recent live stream.
I just saw someone say, downgrade has to be steady. Bitch. I am richer than I've ever fucking been, putting on the greatest matches that I've ever had. So shut the I hate stupid people. I hate stupid people. I'm living my best life. The greatest life ever. It's an upgrade, baby. Because I went forward and I didn't go back. It's the best feeling ever to be rich in spirit, rich in your bank account, and just rich in life.
So the question is, do you think Mercedes Moné has been a downgrade or has downgraded her career since joining AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling? Let me know your thoughts and reactions to that in the comment section below. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.